two friends from Iowa finding out what's beyond the living after death. CNR isn't just about the paranormal. It's about bringing the community together by sharing their experience, evidence, and the fun moments during a paranormal investigation, so that you, the community, can be a part of our journey. Welcome to CNR Paranormal Podcast. And welcome back to the CNR Paranormal Podcast with your host. Oh shit! Where'd he go? Where the hell is he? Oh, that's right. He's working because he can't be here. But I'm your host,
Oh,
Ryne,
Lord.
with our special guests. We have Cheryl and Ryan from Illinois Paranormal Research Group.
Hello.
We have Alicia, Tom, and Derek from Eternal Paranormal, and Alfredo from Spectre Investigations and Paranormal Society. How's it going, guys? Thank you for coming on live.
Going
I'm
good.
here. Good.
So,
for having us.
you're very welcome.
I got to turn the fan down.
So, for that, so back in June, we had you Cheryl invited us to a team event back in June.
Yep.
How did this idea all begin?
You know, we're all here local. And I know you've been to Quarters One with us many times. Tom has been to Quarters One for years. I knew that the rest of his team hadn't been there. And Alfredo, he and I had been talking, and he had never been there also. So I was like, you know what? We're here the night before our event. Why not invite everybody and just do this team event with just the couple local teams and just have some fun and get to know each other.
I tell you what, that was so much fun.
What up, Patrick? What up, Chris?
Hey, Patrick. Hey, Chris. Yeah, Chris will be in the comments, by the way, if everybody's listening. So, experience-wise of that night, what was your guys' favorite of that team event? Of experience-wise.
Well, I guess I'll go first. I enjoyed when we were downstairs. The flashlights were going off on command with the questions that we were asking, and then we were up there towards the end of the night, and I thought it was really cool because you could hear them say, through the Necrophonic app, you can hear them say our names. It was one of the Christine or Christina. I can't remember her name. The one with their daughter that came. It said her name too.
Oh, Catherine.
Yeah, Catherine. Yeah, it said her daughter's name on there, and I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get the dead bell to work in the basement for you? Did you try that at all with Buford down there?
I think we did like a double bell situation there, and it worked. It did pretty good. I mean, with the bell, with your guys' bell and my bell, that worked pretty well. I can't remember what else. I think cat balls were going off too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We had cat balls going off by the stairs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were going off by underneath the stairs in the basement.
Yep. I thought it was pretty interesting, and I don't know if you guys, Cheryl and Ryan, were able to go through your guys' footage or not to see if you guys also captured that what sounded like a little girl screaming that we caught on our little short video.
That was actually, sad to say, that was Chris in the basement.
Oh, that's right. Hey, but that's good that you guys were able to debunk that.
Yeah, I was worried about when I heard it, I'm like, oh, that kind of sounds like Chris. And then I pulled our cameras, and it was for sure Chris. And he even noted, oh, they're upstairs doing a session. I probably shouldn't do that.
Okay. Hey,
Oh, wow.
thank you for letting me know that. You know,
Yeah.
it means that we know that that wasn't paranormal, you know, and it's good to try to debunk things, because we can't believe that everything that we hear, see, or whatnot is
Right.
potentially paranormal.
Right. Yep. Noise carries in that place. So
I don't know, because there's some nights where you can't hear anything, and then there's other nights where somebody could be on second and you could be in the kitchen whispering, and they're like, why are you being so loud? And it's like, what are you talking about? We're literally whispering.
Hi, Haiti. Hi, Beth.
Yeah.
You guys were holding a session on second one time, and
Yes.
you told us to get the heck out of the house because we were being too loud. We are just sitting at the dining room table.
but it sounded like they were screaming.
Mhm.
And then other times you don't hear anybody at all talking. But I was able with that one to match up the timestamps, because you had your timestamp and I was able to match it to ours. But if that would have been really cool.
That would have been.
That would have been really cool.
I mean, I was there on a public investigation one night when they caught something really super cool, and there was a lot of people there that night.
Mhm.
I mean, your whole team was there, and I mean, I don't know how many people were there. What, 25, probably 20, 25?
We normally, if it was a sold out one, there were 30.
Yeah, 30 people, and they caught the apparition going across the doorway.
Yeah.
That was super cool. I mean, that's probably one of the coolest things I've ever saw there, really. I mean, honestly. And I've been there just a couple times. So,
Just a couple.
just a handful.
It's always your first time.
Right?
I know it was Alfredo's first time. What did you think of like the entire experience?
I think the entire experience, it wasn't just the event itself, it was setting up for the event when I offered to help set up cameras with you guys. And that first night, as towards the end of the night, we were done setting up the cameras, there was that door down in the basement that was shut and we couldn't get open. There was a light in that hallway, and before you guys even said there was anything going on with that door, I was down there snooping around and wanted to go through that door, but it was sticking. I was trying to move it open, and there was nothing. Like, you could hear it shaking like on the corners of the door, so there was nothing that would cause it to stick. But if I was to turn that doorknob any harder, I would have broken the door. That's how hard I had a hard time trying to open the door.
That's the one right by the jail, right?
No, it goes down the tunnel
The one
underneath
that goes
the old atrium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
So
Becca and I tried
the next day, finding the door was wide open, and I tried to simulate, the same. Try to get it to stick again. And there was no way I could get it to stick the way it was sticking. It felt I couldn't simulate the same, replicate it. So that was something that
we went through our video from the basement to see if one of the maintenance workers had come, because they come and check the house, and nobody was in the house. So at some point, that door loosened up or did something, and it opened. But there was nobody down there. So now I have to go through and figure out when it opened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that threw me off. Like, that was something that wasn't like, we documented or caught on film or anything like that. That's something that just happened while we were setting up.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we come back, for the actual event, it was just very strange to me.
I know this isn't related to the team event, but I always thought was cool, Cheryl and Ryan, was, I don't know, I think you guys have it on your TikTok. It happened a while back with the door either opening or shutting.
Oh, up on third floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. We tried debunking that.
So Okay, the issue with that is it's we can't label it as paranormal because we did have a window open.
Mm-hmm.
We can label it as strange because we went up and we tried to recreate it. We tried everything. We waited all night. That door did not budge another time that entire night with the window
With
open
the window
still.
open.
Oh wow.
We could not get it to recreate no matter what we tried or how we set the door. Like we even opened or closed the door just enough to where it'd be broadside to the window, and if any breeze blew in, then it would catch the door and slam it. Never happened again. Could not get it to happen. So it's strange, but paranormal. I can't label it as that because we did have a window open.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Now that door, Ryan, that I was having issues with the night before, and the door in question actually, didn't you guys try like have issues with that door too? Because I remember as we were leaving, you had
He
called,
froze.
you called out,
Sometimes
hey,
it
we left
drags
the light
on the
on.
floor.
Yeah, sometimes it drags and gets hung up on the floor, but it never sticks shut.
No,
Was
I've never.
Sorry. Was that the door on third floor?
No, in the
No.
basement.
No,
Oh.
basement.
Base.
So after you come down the stairs from the kitchen
Mm-hmm.
and like you're walking by the equipment, it's that first white door off to the right hand side. It goes
Oh.
down a tunnel under the old atrium, which would be what we call the back porch now. So
Now I see.
that door for some reason was stuck. It could be environmental. So again, it's one of those things you can label it as strange, paranormal, maybe not, but strange for sure. Because it is summertime. It's not really climate controlled in there at this. It wasn't at the time, I should say. It is now.
There is air conditioning now.
Sorry, guys. There's air conditioning now. There wasn't then, but there is now. It was hot that night. Good golly.
Now, I'm not too familiar with the history of the house itself, but are there any stories that could corroborate any type of activity that could cause that door to be shut? Like, especially in that weird hallway that would lead to? Have you guys heard of any stories that happened down there?
No, there's that hallway has a lot of activity.
If I had to speculate, that hallway leads outside. There's a little stairwell, and if what they say is true, and there's a courtroom and jail cells down there, you're not going to drag prisoners through the main house. You're going to take them through that passageway and into those holding cells. You're not going to take them where everybody is living.
That's interesting.
That's kind of what I would lean towards more than anything. I also believe since the kitchen and bakery were down there, there's probably also a lot of deliveries made down through that entryway compared to taking it through the main house. It's possible because at one point they did have a dumbwaiter that they could have went through the back door, but probably illogical since they could have just directly delivered down there.
So Patrick's
interesting.
Asking what location we were talking about, and we're talking about the quarters 1 on Rock Island Arsenal.
Yeah, Chris just mentioned that in the chats.
Yeah.
We get the chat popping up every now and then on our screen, but we don't. I'm not really seeing that. So you guys
I can't see
that coverage for us. Thanks.
It was cool because when we had the tripwire upstairs in the main room there, Tom was sitting at the edge of the couch, and he just says, "Yeah, if there's anybody, light up the tripwire," and then one of them just boop right away. As soon as he asked, it's almost every time Tom asked if anybody can light up the tripwire, and they do it basically right on command. It don't matter where we're at. I mean, I don't know. There's Tom is the ghost whisperer.
Sometimes not.
I don't think there's a place in that house you can go to where you're not going to run into somebody or talk to somebody.
Right.
I tell you
remember
what.
that house has decades and decades of intelligent spirits walking among decades and decades of residual spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And you're on an island in a limestone house surrounded by water. Like you have, it's like the perfect storm, so to speak.
What the house is
Yeah.
pushing almost 155 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever done the golf club?
The what?
Did you guys ever get to do the golf club over there?
No, this team didn't. I remember doing the golf club with you when we were with the other team.
That place is
That place was really cool to do. It's condemned now, so there's like the slimmest chance. We're like, Anna, please.
right.
It's past the point of allowing people in there. It's going to be demolished.
That sucks. That place is actually pretty haunted too. And I mean, it's got some pretty cool stuff that happens in there.
Yeah, it does.
I
I remember seeing some of the videos when you guys were with the other team that you guys got there.
The barkeeper
wiping the counter. That was pretty awesome.
I tell you what, that would be cool to go up in is that even though I know it's cut off, but the tower.
It's pretty cool up there. It's pretty cool up there. I gotta say, I've been on the river. I've been on the river many times.
I think just seeing the river from up there, I think that'd be cool.
You've been up there, ain't you?
I've been up there, yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a few times.
Yeah.
It's a little sketchy now. Last time I was up there, we went up there because it had been raining and we noticed that there was a window open. So we kind of had to get in there, make sure that window was shut because we already had issues with water leaking in that place and ruining things. So we got up there and we noticed the hatch to the very, very top was blown open. So we had to get that closed as well. So that was one of them. Yeah, that was one of them things. So it was like, I wonder if they were warning us or if this just like was circumstantial. Like, hey, look at this. Get up here, fix this.
Because you guys saw it from across the street.
Yeah. We were on the other side of the road at the time.
We went up there. I mean, I don't know. I used to have pictures on my phone. I don't know. I don't think I still do, but it was a couple times at sunset. Just to see the sunset over the water, setting up on that roof is amazing.
Maybe when they get everything fixed and structurally sound again, they'll let us go up. But right now, it's kind of off limits. So.
Yeah, last time I was up there, they still had scaffolding and other pieces of equipment.
Oh, really?
From when they were redoing the shingles.
So for I know me and Chris asked Alfredo last Wednesday. But looking back at your guys' first time you ever went to Quarters One, what was your first thoughts and experience of the place?
Well, for me, my first time, just the grandeur of the place alone is wild. And then you're not expecting anything when you go there. You're like, yeah, it's a creepy place. You know, you go to most haunted locations, there might be one or two spirits there. And then it was every single location you went into, something was happening. It was like, this is crazy. And it just lights that fire in you that you're like, this is what I want to do. This is awesome. It's one of those places that I'm really glad I got to cut my teeth there as an investigator. When I was with the other team and along with this team, I've spent many times there. But my first time there, you almost can't, like, wrap your head around all the stuff that happens. Like it has to take a little bit of time to digest, and then you're like, holy smokes, that actually happened.
Yeah.
Between like, even aside from just equipment going off, the shadows in that place, seeing the shadows moving around that place everywhere, it's wild.
I had to go back all the way to, like, my first time investigating there was in 2011. So going all the way back, and just how the house has changed over the years. And I was just in awe over its size the first time I got to go. And then I sat down. I was trying to figure out how many times I have investigated that house.
I've given up
in the past 14 years. And I have underestimated. It's actually closer to 500 times that I've gotten to investigate that house.
Wow. That's a lot.
That's and and what's so cool about it is being able to go back so often, right? Is you can go back and you can get things to repeat. That repeatability of the spirits and who they are and where they're going to talk and what they have to say. And that's the biggest thing with paranormal, that is that pseudoscience, that we shouldn't be able to get things to repeat. But when you're able to repeatedly go to the location and form a relationship with these spirits where they call you out by name.
Yeah, build a rapport.
And when they show their intelligence with their responses, like the things we got at our May event, holy cow, I can't wait to start sharing some of this audio out that we got in May.
Bunch of sassy pants is there.
But just to be able to do that and repeat things and do the things that they say we shouldn't be able to do in this field. Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to go back for sure and, spend more time there. And
definitely, we need to go back and spend a lot more time there.
Yeah. My first time, it was awesome. And it's a beautiful location. I love it. It's restored beautifully. And I'd love to go back and really hammer down on, some of the spots that I didn't get to go to and things like that. But I thought it was incredible just from the few hours that I was there. I mean, it was really awesome.
One of my favorite parts of the night was when Ryan got the shit scared out of him when we went down to that one spot. He's like, "Oh," he's like, "I thought I just seen a man in the doorway there."
Oh,
I did.
That's funny because I forgot. I saw a whole in my face standing there because I looked over. We were in the basement. I remember now. And I looked over, and I was telling you guys that I saw it was almost like somebody saying, "Hey, like your attention." It was awesome. I mean, I saw a whole face and everything.
They are they're attention whores. They really, especially in the basement. They are needy down there, and they will always talk and try to get under your skin and scare you, and they just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was really cool because it's the first time that I've ever been able to be there on top of, like, you were saying, like, there's spirits, like, wanting to communicate and know it doesn't matter where at, pretty much. So it felt like that when we were down there with you, and we had the 3 cat balls and the other piece of equipment down there too. Like, it was just kept going around us, and then you're like, okay, at this time this song comes on, and so we all have to be quiet. And so it happens, and then everything just dies. You can feel the change of the energy as soon as that starts playing.
I tell you what, that for me, with the first time seeing that, it was my first time seeing a face in that doorway at the was it the boiler room?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was white face, and I don't know like I was just happened to look over where you guys were, and then all of a sudden I look back, and there it is, right there in front of my face.
Then you turn into a ninja.
Oh yeah, and then I turned and jumped out. Yeah, that.
There's a video of Cheryl somewhere kung fu fighting fake spider webs in the basement, and I want to clip it and put kung fu fighting back to it so bad. It is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
You should just. I bet that would get a lot of hits on TikTok. Just
and play the kung fu fighting song in the background.
Yeah. I mean, going to like, I bet you at some point when we go to the Rock On YMCA and we're doing a session, odds are you're gonna get scared because I got scared. Probably. Who knows?
It'll be my first time going when I go with you guys.
wow.
I'm ever investigating there.
Where?
The Roadhouse, Rock Island Roadhouse.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've never investigated there either.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I will never say her name, but we were the very first ones that ever investigated that place.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was me and two other girls.
Me and Tom
we were
do the spirit box there on the 3rd floor.
Yeah, that place is pretty cool.
We've had an incredible conversation.
It was because I remember, Tom, we got to do that multi-team event there when she first after you did, and it was so. I haven't been there since then. I'm the only one on the team who has been there.
There's a lot of places that you've gone with the old team that the new team's like, can we go back? And you're like, well, I've already been there. Well, Cheryl, we haven't. Come on.
There was one place that I did not get to go with Cheryl and the founder and a couple other people, and that was the Bristol. I did not get to go there. I was pretty upset when I didn't get to go there because they caught a lot of cool stuff there.
Yeah.
So
I tell you what, my favorite part. I mean, there's two favorite parts of when we went to the Rock On YMCA for the investigation back in January. Was when I saw that full apparition in the old boys' locker room, and because I got scared, and when we were doing the hide and seek experiment, and we were up on 4th floor. We didn't know the guest was on 4th floor at the time, and we were just walking. I was doing the TikTok live thing and paying attention to that while we're walking down the hall, and all of a sudden, Chris, he'll give me crap in the comments probably, but it's in our intro, but he just runs, he screams, he looks over, and then which made me scared because I was like, what's going on?
I remember that in the intro.
Don't
laughing at that so hard when you were playing that in the beginning.
Yeah.
Listen, don't feel bad about running in that place because it's pretty hard for me to actually get scared of something unless someone scares me.
I don't know, running. I don't think that's gonna happen for me. I didn't get this way by running.
I didn't really run, but I seen the same apparition you did down in the basement, but it threw something at me. And
did it?
Yeah, and there was multiple people down there.
Hold on. Was that the same place that Randy had a screwdriver thrown at him?
Yep.
Yes?
Yep.
Okay.
So that was
this shirt, the flying flashlight.
So that night that Randy was there, it threw a BB or a nut at me. And I didn't really run, but I moved a little fast from that doorway. And then Randy and somebody else was standing by a mini bike that was down there, and the kickstand was down. they said they didn't. Randy said he didn't believe it or something on the lines like that, and the mini bike actually fell over kickstand way toward him.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
You know what? That
I
just
mean,
fits
that's
Randy.
with Randy. It checks out.
Randy got punched in the face at quarters 1 in the basement.
Oh shit.
That
And
may have been
like,
my fault.
so
The wrong person.
Tom, was that in the workshop area that happened?
yep, the workshop
Okay,
area.
that's a spot that we were talking about last week, where I caught an EVP of a woman's voice, and
Yeah, so
that's very interesting.
Which brings us.
Randy is a ghost hunter, but Randy is a non-believer. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
of course, I've known him forever.
Right. So he doesn't believe it unless you could tell him stories from here to China. He is not going to believe it unless it truly happens to him or he sees it
So,
or he hears it.
It's a good way to be. I mean, you have to have that little bit of skepticism and everything.
Right. Which I agree.
Yeah.
But that just kind of fuels my fire to be like, well, if it happened to them, it can happen to me. So I need to go see if I can get it to recreate.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jody, our new investigator, she was with us when I saw that apparition, and right after we left that area, we went. I don't even remember. It might have been the workshop, but we went to the other door, through the other door, and right after you hear something laughing, and it wasn't any of us.
Oh,
Yep,
wow.
right. So if you come from the boys' locker room through where that apparition is,
Uh-huh.
and then come through that door, that's the workshop right there. And then you can go up the back stairs back up top.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that's where a lot of the stuff happens down the basement is in that workshop or in that room.
Me and Sean Ellis were down there
In the locker room.
at I call it the vortex room. They got all the mirrors set up way down at the end on the left side. They got all the mirrors, facing each other. And we were down there chilling with no equipment, and we heard these footsteps scuffle on the concrete like somebody was walking down that hall.
Yep.
And I was like, shh. I said, don't say nothing because nobody knew that we were down there. I was going to scare them, pop out and scare them because we were sitting in the dark, nothing, just silently
You
investigating.
would never jump out and scare people, Derek.
I scared myself.
Yes, he would. Absolutely, he would.
And so
Now I'm gonna wait for that when we
30
go to the.
seconds to a minute goes by, and I said, well, hold on a minute. I said, there's nobody coming. So we immediately both went out of the room, looked down the hall. We didn't see anybody. So then we rushed down the hall. He went one way, I went the other. We both met upstairs on the main floor in the lobby. And that's where everybody was standing still.
We were originally outside.
And then they
prior to that.
Yeah, so prior to that,
We
they
were
outside.
talking about, Tom, you were talking about
A little
girl and hearing footsteps or something.
Oh, yeah, yep. I remember that night. That was when I first met you guys.
Yeah, and so Sean said that he heard a little girl's voice down there too, and you guys were talking about it at the same time.
There used to be a little girl down there that used to talk to me, and she used to say my name and everything else, and then I'm just gonna chalk it up to I hadn't been there in a little while, but a lot of investigators started coming and going and coming and going and coming and going. And there was actually a team from Indiana there. They were live on YouTube, and they were upstairs through the bedrooms into the back room. And you could actually physically hear a little boy's voice while they were live. And it was just the two of them. On their YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah. I commented on their YouTube because I literally heard it, and then it just started going crazy, all the comments. That you physically heard it on their YouTube.
Oh wow.
It was craziness.
I tell you,
I mean,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
nope. Go ahead.
So, when we were there back in January, I was sitting at Nerve Center watching the cameras, and I had the audio on the old boys' locker room, and nobody was down there. Everybody was on the first floor, and so all of a sudden I started hearing a little boy's voice. It sounded like a little boy's voice crying for his mama.
Mm.
and I time stamped it. I wrote it down and everything. Went back to the recordings. It wasn't there.
Vanishing EVPs is a
Suck.
thing. It's insane. Like I've had EVPs in the past where I'm like, I can't believe they're saying this about this person. I'm like, they have to hear this, and then I take it to them. And they're like, I don't hear anything, and I'm like, what do you mean you don't hear anything? And I put it on. I'm like, where the heck did it go? So I don't know how it happens or what that phenomena would end up being, but I just call them vanishing EVPs.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah, right when, even when we were at Granger, which I have a story with that Granger, a different one. But anyway, at Granger we had it looked like a ribbon falling from the stairwell.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't a ribbon at all. Or a piece of hair at all. We were looking for it because it happened to go down, float down, but in the Cheyenne, our investigator, caught it, filmed it on the phone because she went back and it fully went down. Well, I go back to look at it again on the DVR and later after the investigation, and it only stops halfway and it cuts out, which is weird.
That is weird.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if, well, I know you guys, Cheryl and Ryan, been there, the Granger House in
Marion.
Marion.
Yeah.
But you know how there's a spirit named Mabel. One second. Well, I don't know. And this, I don't know if it's, I don't know. But anyway, after the this was, we did the investigation in November, and this was probably back in March, maybe. My mom wanted a couch and everything, and so we got the couch in the house. I went downstairs, and I found a bracelet that said Mabel.
Oh,
And we went back. I went back to see if my mom knew anybody named Mabel. She said no. None of my family knows anybody named Mabel. And the lady that we got the family friend that we got the couch from, her family has nobody or no friend named Mabel.
I'd burn that bracelet.
That's an older name
Nah.
too.
That is an older name.
And I found it.
Keep it forever.
That's pretty awesome.
So I don't know about it. I just found it again the other day, and I was like, because I thought I lost it, but I found it, and I figured I'd share that. But yeah, I thought that was crazy.
I think the hardest part about investigating Granger was just how busy that main road is there.
Yes.
Like the noise contamination and the vibration and
Mhm.
everything was so hard. And the EMF just in that entire property, we chased EMF spikes all over that property.
Yes, we chased it everywhere through the parking lot,
The yard,
everywhere, just EMF spikes everywhere. And then we would go out to like where the power pole was and where you would think there would be a lot, and there's nothing.
Oh wow!
Wow. You talking about the Granger?
Granger. Yeah.
Granger.
Like when we were there, we had, I think the only traffic we had of noise was the emergency people.
Oh, we had that as
We
well.
had that.
But-
That was all night long. It never stopped.
But that was, for us, that was just like a couple times throughout the night, and that was it.
Well, lucky you. It must have just been lucky us.
It's because
we're right on the right day.
It's because we were there in June. No, we were Labor Day, right?
I don't remember.
But they were there in November.
No, okay, I could see. But at the same time, like when we were there, holy smokes, the amount of traffic. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, the carriage house, Patrick, wasn't open when we went, so we weren't able to investigate in it.
Yeah, they thought that the lady, I can't remember her name, but older lady that gave us the tour said it might be open when we were down. It wasn't. So
Yeah, I think we're going to be going out to the Granger House Museum.
The 18th
Yeah, September.
October.
Yeah.
After Benton County.
After Benton County.
Expo.
Yep.
Benton County Expo.
Yep.
that'd be neat.
We'll be doing everything right there.
Another cool little haunt, if you haven't been, is Cambrai.
You guys have Cambrai booked, right?
We're excited
Yes,
for
we
that.
do. Yep. That's
August 9th.
August 9th, the day after Derek's birthday.
It'll be my birthday investigation.
Nice.
Oh, Derek.
The
It's your
stuff
birthday?
outside
Obviously.
really didn't communicate much, but just keep your eyes open because it's crazy. Inside,
I know
Inside,
there's people buried on the grounds, right? The family or whatever, right?
the little girl is.
but further off. And she doesn't know, Rebecca doesn't know where she's buried.
Okay.
She has an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
But you have to remember, it's 30 acres.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So
That's a lot.
the house is rather small, and you have to remember it's just a family. So it's a very quiet little haunt. But when they talk, they talk.
Yeah.
And what were you gonna say, Ryan? Something about upstairs. I'm so sorry.
I don't know.
He was talking about the outside.
Oh,
Just keep your eyes open. Pay
Yeah.
Does
attention.
the Cambrai House have a basement?
The basement's rough.
Yeah.
We set up a camera down there, and we're like, nobody. I never see anybody investigate the basement. All the videos I watch and researching this place, nobody ever investigates a basement. I went down there, and I was like, I understand why now.
Is it more
It's
crawl
rough.
space or is it a full basement?
It's a full basement, but the air quality down there is gnarly.
Yeah.
When we went to Granger, we set a camera down in the basement, but we didn't investigate the basement because we were having more activity upstairs. But
Yeah.
I didn't
What I
figure
found
there
out-
was.
What I found
Go
at Granger, though, is when the air conditioning was on, somehow something must have got grounded to the water lines, because when the air conditioning was on, the water lines were energized and you could follow with a K2 and it would just be to red the entire time. So
Oh, wow.
somehow that system got grounded to the water system. So I imagine that could create somewhat of a fear cage.
Yeah.
When you guys were there, Cheryl and Ryan, was the music room active for you, or?
During the day.
During the day, at night it really quieted down, but during the day, like you walked in there and the air was just different.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
We had activity in there, but it was calm, but then it went a little heavy. And then when we did the Estes, I don't know if somebody was mad at us or what, but in the Estes, Chris was under the Estes, and it sounded like they were mad at us.
Oh, well, Shayna got in trouble.
Shayna got in trouble because she swore.
She said a bad word, and then the device turned on immediately after she swore, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry," because they were a proper Christian family. They were strictly religious.
Me, Chris, Jody, and Cheyenne. Well, if one of them swore or something, they'll go, "Sorry, Dora."
Yes, you have to apologize to Dora.
I tell you what, it was interesting because I brought my little cousin with, and she was nervous, but I was proud of her because she did 10 minutes of the Estes. But she kept getting her hair pulled, and everything. She kept looking behind her. I'm like, just tell them to stop. They'll probably stop.
Yeah.
Just tell them stop.
When my daughter and I held a session in there, we did the SB7 out loud, and we were speaking with the boys, and they were pretty rowdy. And then I believe the father came home, and he was pretty much just like, "Yep, I'm tired." So I think he was just planning on heading to bed, and this was like maybe 6 o'clock.
Right.
Oh wow!
I'm like, we're here all night, bud.
When we were in the music room, when my cousin was under the Estes, Jody was sitting in the chair, and I was standing there between the doorways, and we have it on our TikTok. You'd have to wear headphones with it, but I heard a female voice, and I looked behind me. Nobody was there. I looked around. Nobody was there, and we caught it on video. I'm like, and this was when we went back through the footage.
Mm-hmm.
My thing, there was one time on second floor, walking into the boys' room, forgot the mannequins were in there, got jump scared, and the kids started laughing at me. I just turned the corner and there's a kid sitting on the bed. Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
that's the thing. The place is full of mannequins. Similarly to, if you've been to Squirrel Cage Jail, it's also full of mannequins.
We're going there in September.
Okay.
When you guys went upstairs, did you guys have to do one of those double takes to look in the thing for the mannequin or something? Make sure it's not.
Yes.
I had to do that.
A real human sitting there.
Yeah.
Any place with mannequins, you always have to make sure, like, all right, they didn't move. They're still there. I think
okay, you're not.
Chris said that those mannequins got him as well.
Hey, the ones at Edinburgh gets me all the time. Every time.
Frankenstein. There was like a
the zombie
Frankenstein that was down past Rose's room, and it scared the crap out of me going into where the pool table is and the barbie chair. Oh my gosh, it was but it's
I
not
like to visit these places.
the last time that we went. I don't know where it went.
So
I love to visit these places that scare everyone so much because maybe all the video games desensitized me over the years or something, but
most of it, the paranormal side's really chill. It's just the little jump scares you start seeing everywhere.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Hearing the crap out each other.
Yeah, Ryan, when he gets scared of the AC kicking on at their undisclosed location.
It was a compressor to like their pop machine or something.
Listen, no. In the winter at quarters 1, when the boiler kicks on, I know that thing's gonna kick on, and it scares me every single time. Every time and I've been there so many times.
Super loud.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That thing kicking on will get everybody every time.
That's funny.
Especially if you're standing beside it.
Oh yeah.
So Nikki Cameron is asking, "Hey everyone, what's one place you would love to investigate but haven't?" I've from Paranormal Perth. Oh.
So we kind of touched on this in some of our podcasts, but I'm going to say for myself, one place I would absolutely, a dream place for me would be House on the Rock in Wisconsin.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't think that would ever in my life happen.
that'd be awesome.
Look at
still-
Alfredo.
That would
He's
be
like, yes.
Never say never.
That's a good one.
That place is
That's a
huge.
good one.
There's no way that place is not haunted. There's no freaking way.
That's insane, dude. I've never been there, but I really want to go.
I want to
just
go there too.
Have
We
to.
should go there.
Just to go.
Just to go, you have to. The place
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
we need to go. And then we can make
A
some
Derek and Tom adventure.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I would say my dream. I got two of them: the Stanley Hotel and Waverly.
Waverly.
Yeah,
Waverly's good.
yeah. I want to go to Waverly and
I'm
the
taking a
Stanley
historical
Hotel.
tour of Stanley. That place is pretty dang cool.
Yeah, I want to go there. I just want to go there in general, just to go there, but to investigate it would be awesome.
Yeah.
Go to the-
I would love to go to the Sally House.
Yes,
Ooh.
that's another one. Never
That's
been to
really
Waverly.
an obtainable place to go
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
It's just drive time.
Yeah,
There's one in Louisiana that I want to go to. I can't think of it. It's on like a tour thing, but that one and probably, I would say probably everybody says the Stanley. I mean, I would like to go there, but I think for me it would probably be, I don't know, House on the Rocks, like he said. I think it'd be pretty cool.
And I love prisons as well. I've investigated Missouri State Pen.
Ooh.
yeah.
Awesome place.
yes.
I've done the historical tour at Eastern State Penitentiary in Philly. And what's awesome about that is Steve Buscemi does the audio tour for you.
Oh, that's cool.
He does such a great job at it too. When I went, it's been many, many years, and they've since quit doing their paranormal investigations there, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. They want to go in a different direction.
So me and Chris have that on our list for next year, the Missouri State Pen.
Oh, it's so cool.
And
ISS.
It's worth it.
we're working on it. But
Because you'll get swamp ass. Your clothes will literally peel off of you.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Chris likes the fall time to investigate, but I like the summer. I try to push us to do investigations in the summer, and he goes, "Why?" And I'm like,
Are we supposed to go to Indiana?
Come on, Ryan.
Yeah, I want to go to ISS. I would love to go there too. I think that's in the works for next year.
Yeah.
ISS con.
Yeah. Well, how about you, Alicia or Alfredo? You've been quiet.
Alfredo,
What's your
he
dream
can go.
location?
No, I'm looking at everyone else. I think fantasy-wise, I'd love to go to Dracula's castle.
Oh,
It'd be
yeah.
dope.
Dracula.
Realistically, I would say Jonesville. I think that's in Kentucky. It's more recent. It's a more recent location that's opened up for investigations. They just closed down in 2023. It was an assisted living home.
Oh,
So
wow.
the owner of that property is still there, and they're ahead of the investigation team there. But it's the same owner that owned it while it was in operation.
Oh, wow.
So everything is like fresh and
That's
new.
cool.
So she knew the residents that lived there, and
So my little brother just posted a map of Kentucky of haunted places.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of them that's on there.
yeah, that place is very interesting. I'd love to visit there. And also a House on the Rock, since Ryan mentioned that. I'm a huge fan of the show American Gods, and in the books, the American Gods, and that's featured in there, and that's a very magical place. I would love to go there and investigate.
And just the challenge of the place, because the EMF is off the charts. So
Forget any equipment.
any equipment that reads EMF, throw it away. It's not going to work.
I'm not gonna throw it away. That shit was expensive.
Well, no, yeah, exactly. Just don't
throw it
bring
away.
Just don't bring it. Don't throw it away. Stuff's so expensive.
How about you, Alicia?
I would like to do Waverly Hill Sanitarium still. We're actually going to be doing that. We are definitely going to do something next year there in the fall, probably spring. And then I would also like to investigate Campbell Castle in Scotland. I am supposedly related to that castle through my ancestors. I know that it's open for tours and stuff.
That's awesome.
That'd be cool. I tell you one
Especially
place.
if you have that connection, like ancestral connection to that place, that'd be very interesting to go to.
Yeah.
I tell you one place that would be cool. Was it that Jonestown? I think it's
Jonesville or
no
Jonestown?
Jonestown, where that massacre happened.
Oh,
I think I'm saying it right. It's where that I can't even remember his name. This cult leader killed a bunch of his cult friends.
Oh,
I think I know what you're talking
did I drink
about.
the Kool-Aid?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
They were waiting for the aliens to come and get them.
I think
That's
so.
Heaven's
That one, or are
Gate.
you talking about the?
I know which one's the
True.
Jonestown one.
It's
though.
it's the
not
one
Texas.
where they got drugged or something. It was in Africa or something. I think it was Africa.
Oh, okay.
It's similar to the one I'm talking about. I know what you're talking about. Oh,
Someone said Jim Jones and the Kool-Aid.
Jim Jones.
Yeah.
If Lynn said.
Oh,
That's the one.
Jim Jones
Yes.
and the Kool-Aid. Never heard of it. I'll look that
I
up.
think I remember reading about that.
Now I
That
want
one
to
was nuts.
because
Yes, Heidi. Jim Jones and the Kool-Aid. That was the California one, right?
So one of my friends knows that I'm really big into ghost hunting, and a long time ago she took me to the Valeska house for my birthday, and we actually caught some pretty cool stuff there. She was at a yard sale and found this book, Ghost Hunting Illinois.
oh,
yeah.
I've never ever seen it. It's by John B. Kuba.
Okay, I haven't heard of that
Or
one.
Kucha. I know. But yeah, it's got some pretty cool stuff in it.
I've read Chad Lewis's books.
how much have you looked into some of these places? Because I know there's a lot of places that are published that are like, this is the most haunted place and such and such and such and such. We don't allow anybody to come here though. And you're like, well, don't publish it then.
Yeah.
Buzzkill.
Or don't
So they got
$1,500 for it.
they have Mineral Springs in here, the Alton
That'd be a cool
Hotel, which I've been there. That's pretty amazing. They have Clinton. I've been to the Clinton Library. It's pretty haunted. We actually caught an apparition there, coming and going,
oh wow.
manifesting in the middle of the library. We actually caught that there. A guy hung himself in the basement at that library on the pipes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, they've got North Lincoln Avenue, the Biography Theater. I mean, Ghost of the Eastland and North Dearborn Street.
That ship that everybody was supposed to be on, it overturned right there in the river. And they had these businesses that were nearby that they took the bodies and stuff and they held them.
Oh, wow. I want to go to the Lincoln Theater down in Decatur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got the Greenwood Cemetery in Decatur here, too.
Yeah, the Lincoln Theater is on my bucket list.
There's a lot of Chicago area cemeteries that are supposedly really freaking haunted.
Yeah. We just recorded a podcast on the most haunted cemeteries. We covered 15 of them, and six of the 15 are actually in Illinois.
Decatur and Chicago, pretty much.
Bachelor's Grove for sure.
Have any of you been there to Bachelor's Grove?
I mean, I
No.
have. I have.
I was just there for the first time the other day.
Yeah. I
It's
know.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that was before Ryan.
I've been there.
Do you see the animosity here?
I have been some places that she hasn't, so
I can say that to Derek too. So
You have, Ryan. You've been to a lot of places she hasn't, though.
and I keep trying to get her there, but then we should, and then it kind of dies there.
We take
There's
road trips all the time.
There's a cemetery out by Tipton.
Yeah,
That-
he keeps trying to get me there.
That cemetery is pretty wicked. It is really, really wicked. We all went there one night, and up on the hill, when you drive in, there's a big hill, and it's got a great big tree up there, and you could see them from down at the bottom. You could see them all standing up and around there. It was pretty
Wildcat
cool.
Den is cool too.
Oh man, don't get me started on that place.
Tommy,
but I keep hiking out there. I know that it's got some secrets there.
Wildcat's Den is probably one of the places that I probably won't go back.
Really?
I mean, I'll stay up top, but I'll never probably go back down on bottom again.
Okay.
I mean, we
I'm not gonna comment.
Amy, remember when I don't know if was any of you guys there when Amy was there and we caught the mic moving on the white schoolhouse deck?
Maybe.
Yeah, we were doing a public investigation.
We covered different places.
Yep, we had a public investigation there one time, and we had a mic, and it was attached to a cord laying on the deck of the school, and we had a video camera facing it, and we actually caught the mic and everything moving. It moved on the deck by itself. There was nobody up on the deck at all.
I was there for that. I do remember that now.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you remember when that whatever it was ran through me down below?
Yeah. I was only a few people behind you, and when you hit around,
that I'll never ever forget that. That's probably one of the most terrifying experiences I've ever had. It
hit him hard.
It made me cry. It made me, I don't know what. It was horrible. It was horrible.
Did something run through you on Sullivan Island also?
It didn't go through me. It went beside me, but
you guys got rushed there, right?
Huh?
You got rushed there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got rushed on Sullivan Island, down by the train bridge.
Yep.
That place is pretty wicked too. I mean, it's been a long time since I've been there.
You know what? Rock Island. You know what would be really cool? I was just thinking about it. They got that old village in Scott County Park.
Mm-hmm.
They're iffy about people.
Yeah, they're iffy about investigating there.
I had a feeling, but it would be so fucking cool if we could investigate there. There's so many shops and so many
they don't
facts there, you know? Like imagine. Can you imagine?
I think they know that it's haunted, and I don't think they want people messing with whatever's there. And would I want to go there? Absolutely 100%. But they have turned so many people down because I think they know that it's haunted, and they just don't want people there.
A lot of people.
Oh, you mean the little village? Hang on. You mean the little village where you got to walk down in and there's like a little white church there? I've investigated that.
There's a bank, there's a church, there's the ice cream shop.
We did investigate that.
We used to go on field trips there.
Yes, we did investigate that. Absolutely, we did.
They take the children there.
Yes, they take all the children
who was
there.
with
It's
us?
fine.
I'm pretty sure Amy was there that night, that day. What's his name? Sister was there. Our wife, Jared and his wife. I think they were there
They
the
got
day
married.
that.
Didn't they get married in the church there?
They renew their vows
Yep.
there.
Yep. Yeah. We
So
did investigate that place. Absolutely, we did.
Really?
Yep. That place is pretty cool. That place is really neat.
I didn't get to partake on that one, but
Yeah.
yeah.
a couple places that I think would be cool, but I don't know. I'm still waiting on the LeClaire house, which I got to check back in October to see if we can. But
Sylvan
'cause-
Island is free; it doesn't cost anything. I go there
Right.
frequently.
and then
That's
been-
right.
I've been trying, but I can't get the right contact because I know they sold it probably. I think to the developer, but Annie Whitmire.
Oh yeah.
That
That'd be
place is
so
pretty
cool.
cool too.
I
Annie
would-
Whitmire.
I wish we could investigate that place, only because knowing what happened. But
Locally, I'd love to do the Scottish Rite Cathedral.
Yeah.
Nick
I'd love
Simons
to go there
investigated that. Actually, he was telling us about that.
Yeah.
That's the one down there, the theater now, right?
Yeah. Spotlight.
Randy
invest-
and I also got to investigate there.
Then the theater
Sorry.
I've investigated before.
Yeah.
I'm
I want
actually
to
a
do
member
the
of that
Capitol
lodge
Theater.
myself.
The Capitol Theater in Davenport would be dope.
yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
The Greek Theater in Moline, I've investigated that place.
I want to do, well, I have investigated Veely's. I want to go there again.
Not really.
We should all go to Sullivan Island one night.
But Veely's Plantation is awesome in Moline. That's where I saw my first apparition was Veely's Plantation in Moline
Really.
before they turned into a bank. It was
Listen, I'm gonna date myself because that was where we used to go for like homecoming and prom and Sadie's. That was the place to go eat.
You're
yeah.
just as old as I am. I'm like, I used to deliver papers to that place.
Yeah, that's where I saw my
Papers,
first.
what are those?
I used to deliver papers to the house across the road, and I was so scared to go up the driveway
Oh, that's
and
fun.
deliver the papers to the front porch. I'd get about halfway up the driveway and I'd throw them.
We're the old ones, Tom. We're the old ones.
Yeah, I had my first experience there. It was, I'll never forget it. Never forget it.
Okay, now I got a question for all of yous.
Uh-oh.
Well, Chris, you go first. Where was your very first experience? What did you very first experience?
That's Ryne.
Are you talking to me, Tom?
Ryne.
Yeah, Ryan.
Can
I'm
you
sorry.
say that again?
Where
What was your
was
very first paranormal experience?
Very first?
Yep.
Does it have to be at a location?
Anything. Nope.
anything?
Nope. Your very first experience.
Oh gosh.
Oh, it
So
sucks when you get put on the spot.
my very first was okay. Seeing an apparition. I was at my old work, and a couple years ago, and I was doing newspapers on the third floor, and I was walking towards the elevator, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a full apparition dart from a doorway to the stairwell, and that building, that section of the building, is iffy to me anyway. Gives me the creeps, but that was one. But an actual thing with I mean, that was an experience, personal experience. But when we formed CNR, but recently, and I know I've talked about it in podcasts, was the door hit me in Edinburgh.
Yep. Okay. Alfredo, what was yours?
Oh, I can't remember my first one, but one that I've been able to witness that I was able to share with other witnesses was just earlier this year. Um, I was with my wife, my brother-in-law, my mother, and my stepfather, and we were eating at my mother's house in January for it was like celebrating New Year's, and I saw this mist coming up from the landing, the foyer of her house, coming up the steps from behind her and my stepfather, and it lingered there. Uh, I want to say a good 5 to 7 seconds before it started to move off to the left very slowly, and it looked like it was steam, but it wasn't steam. It was a mist, and the light was hitting it because it floated across the room. Like I said, it was about 5 7 second span, and there's light coming in from the kitchen window, and it was kind of sparkling. And I looked to my wife, who was sitting right next to me. Do you see that? And then my brother-in-law, who was sitting uh, diagonally from me, looked up and saw that as well. And he first dismissed it as being my stepfather's hot plate of food, but it wasn't, because it came from behind and steam would go straight up. It wouldn't linger 5 to 7 seconds and move, you know, horizontally.
Yeah.
So, and being that we explained it that way, he was like, yeah, that is something. So that's something that I was able to witness with other people. But I've always
Nice.
had paranormal experiences. Everyone thought I was
Right.
nuts, but one that I
Nobody
was able to
farted,
witness with
did they?
others. What's that?
So, all right,
No,
Ryan, it's
nobody
your
was
turn.
scared. They just thought it was pretty interesting. No one got scared, but
So
they continued their
Now it's your turn,
conversations and
Ryan.
stuff.
so pretty much like I in my childhood I feel like I experienced things, but you know, you grow up and your memory's hazy. So like the most impactful thing that I can remember that without a doubt I feel would be a paranormal experience would be seeing the apparition of my ex-wife's great grandmother. And you could the glass on the screen door, she walked across and then disappeared.
Huh.
So I jump up off the couch, I run to the door to see if anybody's walking outside, and there's nobody there. And then the house layout was slightly different when she lived there. So where she was walking actually made sense because she basically came out of a wall and then just went basically into a wall. But the house layout was slightly different, which for her would have made more sense for the path she took. Around the same time, I was living with my mother part time, and she had an apartment in Moline, and there was a ghost there. There's, as far as I know, it was a male spirit. I never really seen him, but he would always take things and hide things. He'd like tap me on the shoulder. One time he threw something at me, so that was fun. I'm not going to say what it was because it's funny, and I'm like, it's not funny if it was a knife. But
Ooh.
so I'm sitting there on the floor. I'm in the cupboard looking at snacks and stuff. I set a Rice Krispie up on the counter,
That's
and it
crackle.
fine hits me in the chest. I'm like, and everybody thinks it's the funniest thing. I'm like, well, it wouldn't be funny if it was a knife that hit me in the chest. And they're like, well, no, but it wasn't, and you're fine, so it's funny. And I'm like, you guys are jerks.
Or flashlight.
But there's one time sitting on the back stoop of that place, and I feel this tap on my shoulder, and I look up, nobody's there, and then you see footprints in the grass walking away.
Wow.
He's like, hey, let me get by you real quick.
Wow.
So I think those two things are kind of like the most impactful, I would say almost first real experiences with the paranormal that I've had.
All right, Cheryl.
So I would say growing up, I grew up in a haunted house. My dad still lives there. It's a grumpy old man who lives there, and now they only have activity if my sister or I are there. But
Oh wow.
I've grown up with it my entire life, and I was very fortunate that my parents never squashed my talking to invisible friends and things like that. So yeah, and now just all the ghosts in my house all the time now. So
is there a time? Is there a time when you were a child, like one thing that really sticks out?
yeah, one time there was so much noise in the basement, which is where my bedroom was, that I had to. My parents were on a cruise, and I was 18, and I had to call my uncle to come over to the house because I was convinced there was actually someone in the house.
Oh wow.
So loud, and there was no one there.
Hmm.
But I'm like, I went out to the garage and I got on the phone and I called him. I'm like, hey, there's someone in the house and you need to come check it out because I'm not going back in.
Fight.
I'm not going back in.
All right, Derek.
Oh, that would be a Veely's Plantation. Definitely, hands down. I was 9 years old. My dad and my aunt, before I think it was the restaurant, it was offices at the Veely's. So I would always get left sleeping because they would have to clean at nighttime when all the businesses were closed. The building, they were all closed down. And I would have to find them. So I would literally be like somewhere and I had to take like the elevator or whatever up to and then wander the halls and find them. But anyway, I was in one of the conference rooms wiping off the table, just helping and everything, with them. And I turn around because I felt like there was somebody standing behind me. And I was probably like 9 years old. I didn't know anything about ghosts or spirits or, whatever. And I seen a full body. It looked like a man standing there. And I tapped on my aunt's shoulder and I said, "Hey, Aunt Candy." And I was like, "Who is that?" He turns around and she screams for my dad. My dad comes out because we were on the third floor, and he comes out of I think there's like bathrooms or something in that same conference area room there. He said he went out, he looked over the balcony because there's like, the little staircases there and stuff, like that nice, staircase. He looks over that. He said he didn't see anybody, and they would always get just this cold rush of wind, going up the stairs all the time. And then, Veely's, how he got shot. What the heck was his name? Nick Cherikos.
Yeah.
How he got shot through, the window there. And, artifacts, you can look it up. And I did some research on it. I did like a little documentary on it. And then they kind of let me go in there and
That's
do
cool.
investigation in like the lobby. So I'm sitting there and it's a bank right now. Like 4 months ago, they let me go in there and investigate and bring in tools and stuff. And I'm in the lobby doing, some little things inside the little lobby area because they wouldn't let me do a lot because, it's a bank. But what they did let me do was really unique and cool. I'd love to go there. And I'm
All right,
tonight, man.
Alicia, Alyssa, Alicia.
She's on your team, Tom. Get it right.
Right.
It's a
Right.
cool person thing.
So, my first experience was my parents had rented a house down the street from us, actually where we bought our house today. And my neighbor, she became my friend. And we went to school together. I was between 10 and 12, going to Glenview at that point. And I always would have to go downstairs, and there's this old built-in bar downstairs, and I always felt like somebody was watching me. I could always feel something down there, but my friend had said that there was a man that lived there that had died and they had a dog or whatnot. So then my dad, he was watching, like, he started watching Taps on TV. And I didn't know nothing about ghosts or anything, you know, or spirits. And so I thought that was interesting. So my sister, my friend next door, and we were down in the basement near the bar, and we were asking some questions. And, you know, we didn't have no equipment because we're young. And I was like, can you, if somebody's here, can you make something move for us? And there was the lid to a storage container that was right near us, and it slid off the bar. And so we went running up the freaking stairs, slammed the door behind us, and locked it.
That's
So
cool.
my very first experience I ever had was with my little brother. And it's kind of cool because now he investigates with me. You know, he's wanted to do it for a lot of years, but that was my thing and he knew it. And, you know, but.
You were being stingy.
Huh?
Like you were being stingy.
Kinda. I kind of was. But so we used to live in a house in Corinth, Mississippi. And supposedly the guys were doing the roof on this. It was kind of like a mansion. And they were doing the roof on the top of the house. And one of the guys had fell off and broke his neck and killed it and died at the house.
Oh, shit.
So supposedly that's what happened. So we had a sun porch in the very front of the house. That was our playroom. Well, we'd play with Hot Wheels and stuff. Well, the next morning we'd get up, they'd be lined against the wall. My sister-in-law and my brother, they would be doing laundry, listen to the radio stations would turn. The most terrifying part was we came home one day and there was muddy footprints. We had a cellar with the two big doors, and it was on our enclosed porch by the garage. And we came in from the garage into the porch, and there was muddy footprints going down to the cellar, and there was absolutely no one home.
Oh wow.
So my dad never believed in that shit. So one of you guys must have done it, you know. And of course, he at least had to go down and check it out, even though he didn't believe, but he had to go down and check it out. So yeah, that was my very, very first experience with the paranormal.
That's
Was
pretty
that
neat.
house. We lived there a long time, and all kinds of stuff would happen, you know.
So I got one more question before we have to wrap things up. But is there a paranormal experiment you guys always wanted to try but are iffy about trying it?
Yep, the one with the headphones. I've never done it.
Oh, they asked
So,
us.
yeah,
Really?
I kind of did with Derek once, but I don't know. I've never really done it in a haunted place. I don't know if I'm kind of scared to hear something I don't want to hear, or I don't know.
Chris is good at that, I guess.
Yeah, I love doing Estes.
Derek did it. Derek's pretty good at it.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I've always kind of wanted to try human pendulum. I'm always intrigued by the board.
He wants to hang someone.
No.
Picture.
oh my
imagine?
goodness.
So a person is deprived
It's swinging.
and they stand basically in the middle of the circle, and you just lightly touch them, and then whichever way they start to lean, you have like your yes for forward, no for back, maybe for left, and then maybe something else for right. So
Baby,
whatever they start to lean is how they answer the question.
listen, you know what he's talking about? It's actually a human Ouija board.
Essentially,
That's what it is.
I've always wanted to try an auto writer, because if they could write something, that would be so cool as a keepsake that you could just hang on your wall.
That
Like,
would be neat.
Harold Rodman wrote this, or whoever, you know. That'd be such a cool keepsake.
So that would be easy. We just need a roll of butcher paper, and I have an
Auto writer
auto
planchette.
writer planchette.
Now let's do it.
On.
Yeah, human pendulum is basically a human Ouija board.
Not
Every-
with the auto
every-
writer.
Everybody touches them, and like you said, it's a yes or no, or maybe.
Listen,
or,
I mean, okay, so dating myself, light as a feather, stiff as a board, that was a thing back, years, long time ago.
Yeah.
I
I
still
was the
did
guinea pig of
that.
that
We did that
on
too.
those sleepovers.
Yep.
So I come up with
hey,
an idea that would be really cool.
that's a cool thing.
Housing rods.
We can have a human slumber party, an adult slumber party.
Hell yeah.
That'd be weird.
Right, I don't know about this.
So I was thinking like an experiment that I had was like, you know how like you hold the dowsing rods in your hands and they cross for yes and no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Point, So if you get like a block and you drill the holes for the dowsing rods to sit in, so where you're not holding them, so you can't manipulate which way they go. And then, copper coils, right? Connects into that copper coil up to like the handles. And then so that way you can have it out to where you can touch just the copper coil on it. So you can disperse your energy through that copper coil into the dowsing rods to see if they would move on their own, because then you're not getting a false, reading, because sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm a skeptic of dowsing rods, but that would be really cool. I mean, that would be incredible to see.
I like the idea of taking the human.
I have a block already that I've made, but I would just have to add the copper, which wouldn't be hard to do.
Yeah, like copper coil. That way you can.
Yeah.
Here.
The one thing I've done to eliminate kind of the human kind of subconscious out of it was that one of our last investigations, I put in earplugs and earmuffs, and then pulled my hat down to where I could just see the back. I couldn't hear what was going on, but just so I know, like, if they needed reset or whatever. And it took that out to where if it was moving or manipulating, I wasn't the one answering their questions.
Right, like you weren't the one making it go like this, or that's a good idea.
Yeah, it is.
Those armrests, like that kind of.
Usually, I tuck in real tight.
Plop in there.
They say to hold them out, but I'm too unsteady like that. I tuck in tight, just try to stay steady with them.
I also heard that if you point them kind of downward, so that they have to, so that way
use actual force.
Yeah.
I'm becoming a big fan of dowsing rods.
I want to get those glowy ones. Those are badass looking.
How about you, Alicia? Sarah?
I don't have any experiments that really.
We did an experiment at the Roadhouse with the fog machine and lasers.
Yeah, that's the one experiment that I tried, that I wanted to try. I came up with this idea of trying to manifest, get a spirit to manifest in fog and laser lights pointing in all directions at the Rock Island Roadhouse in the portal room with all the mirrors and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty interesting. And then we had a walkie-talkie sat in a room, and we went upstairs and we were asking questions through that.
Yeah, it was cool.
How about you, Alfredo?
I'm open to anything. Sort of like risking anyone's lives, but I've Ouija boards, scrying mirrors, anything. I'm open to anything because I like to know, like, as a scientist, as a someone that just has a bunch of questions of what is possible. I like to know what is possible. So like I can't put myself in a small like box to be able to find evidence or capture
Mhm.
type of evidence. If it works, let's use it. So I'm open to anything.
How
And
about
all these ideas that I've heard so far, even with the lasers and with the fog, that was a great idea too. Like that's
mhm.
the type of thinking that I really like to,
That'd be
think
cool.
outside the box. So that's actually that brought up a lot of ideas I could use in my experiment. So that's awesome.
How about you, Tom?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen so many different techniques and been with so many teams on investigations that, like Alfredo, I'll try anything. I'm open to anything. Me myself, I'm just old school. I like it quiet. I
Oh,
don't like all the noises. I don't
Mhm.
like all the boxes. I I mean, I've experienced with and without, you know. But I think Cheryl was with me one time at quarters one. There was a bunch of us there, and we had flashlights, no noise boxes. We all just sat down, real quiet, and had some pretty cool experiences there.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
I think I don't know if this might be. I mean, I've been thinking about it, but the old uh, cup telephone
yep.
thing. I want to try that. Put it to a room or wherever, and then
Put one in one room and you in the other with your ear against it.
yeah,
Mhm.
and seeing
I've
if
seen that.
Oh, if
I
anything talked through that, that would be so crazy.
and
Yeah,
put or put like
I
a digital recorder right in the cup as well.
that's a great idea. Yep.
That'd be pretty amazing. That would be pretty neat.
I
You
was
know,
thinking I was thinking about trying that at the Rock Island Expo or
yeah.
Expo the
Road.
Rock
the
Island Roadhouse.
the the investigation. Sorry.
There's so I. This is the thing. I've been doing it a long time, just as much as Cheryl has. And there's so many techniques with so many different groups,
Mhm.
and it's cool because Cheryl started this thing that each group gets to be with one group,
Mhm.
and and show off your what you got, what you do,
Mhm.
what's your technique,
I think
and
that's pretty
that's
cool.
I love Cheryl's team for doing that.
Mhm.
I love that because not everybody does that. When we go to Broadhead Manor, and they have collaborations up there.
Mhm.
You see so much different equipment and people people do so many different techniques
Mhm.
using you know the same equipment, but they have different techniques of using that equipment.
Mhm.
And
sometimes you get, yeah, like, I mean, and you mentioned Broadhead. Like, sometimes you can get really compelling evidence just using your body, using your sense, and yourself with
we,
no equipment. Some of the best
I I
things I've ever
I so
experienced is using
the
nothing.
first time Derek and I went up there, they always use, a lot of people use noise
Oh,
boxes and stuff. And I told Derek, I said, let's just go down to the maintenance room, just me and you, nothing else, just me and you. Total quiet, just a couple flashlights. Dude, it was one of the best experiences down there that we had. I mean,
I
it was,
couldn't believe what we seen, dude. It
so
was
yeah, it
awesome.
was.
sorry.
All we can do is say we seen it because we didn't have nothing to record it,
Yeah.
you know. And was it paranormal? I don't know, you know.
And that's what it
To me-
comes down to when it comes to like the whether you want to be an investigator as far as
Mhm.
for the experience or to capture evidence or data. So these different mediums as far as capturing evidence or having these experiences, they we could either go there as an experience or scientifically and using these different types to test what we've captured, like either using spirit boxes or using um, voice recorders or cameras. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hey,
just finding different ways to prove it. If you want to prove it, there's different devices out there to prove it. If you
Yeah.
want to have an
Absolutely.
experience,
100.
there's a lot of places you can go to have experiences.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's why I'd like to get us all together again and go to the Sullivan Island.
That'd be
That'd be
cool.
fun.
A lot of people don't know that man, I'm telling you, that place can come alive. And when I tell you come alive, I mean come alive. You
Yeah.
can see shadows, you can see
mhm.
full body apparitions. I mean, I was literally bum rushed by an apparition. And there was a few people there that seen it. Did we capture it? No. But it happened.
We
It
gotta get out.
really happened,
That'd be fun.
So, hey, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Derek and Alicia, do you guys have a cat?
Yeah, we have 3.
Oh, okay, that's what I was getting because I saw a movement. I saw a movement at the table and it caught my eye. I was like, did you guys have a cat?
Yeah, that's Parker back there.
Okay.
I mean, Sullivan Island is really cool, and I don't think a lot of people's been there lately. You know, I mean, if they have, I know my friend's daughter and her friends go there a lot, and they capture a lot of stuff there.
I've never been
So
out there, and I grew up in the Quad Cities. You know, it's like I'd never been to Quarters 1, and I grew up in the Quad Cities. You know.
Yeah. We
So-
still
There's a
like-
lot here.
There's a lot of
I
hidden
grew up-
gems.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm gonna we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna open up the floor. If you guys want to share your socials, next events, next whatever, I'll open up the floor.
Go in order and allow Alicia and Derek to go.
Okay. So you can reach out to us on our Facebook page. We mainly use Eternal Paranormal on our Facebook page. We have the 18th and the 19th is the Paranormal Rockdown that we're going to be vending at, and we're all also sponsors of, and we will be stepping in for the 19th for investigations for the celebrities that are coming out if they need a break or whatnot. August 9th, we'll be at the Combre House in Nauvoo, Illinois. Saturday, August 16th, we'll be with you guys at the Rock Island Roadhouse. September 12th, we have our private investigation at the 1861 Masonic Lodge in Keithsburg, Illinois. And then September 20th is the event that we are hosting a public investigation at the 1861 Masonic Lodge. Those tickets you can purchase through Eventbrite. I'm not sure how many more
there's like 5.
tickets that are left, like 5, maybe less now. And then Saturday, October 4th, we're going to be going to the Forge House in Benton, Iowa. Saturday, October 18th is the 2nd annual Benton County Expo that we will be vending at again. And then we will be investigating the Granger House. And then into next year, we're already booking. We have the Gibson Victorian with Jenny Davis, my co-host of Unturned Pages, and others that joined this year at Pine Lawn Manor. And we're going back the very next day to Pine Lawn Manor as well.
Sweet.
Wow.
Awesome. Busy.
Busy.
Holy smokes.
So we're actually Facebook Illinois Paranormal Research Group, YouTube at ILPRG. We're on TikTok, Illinois Paranormal Research Group. Our next event is August 15th with CNR. Then we have our next Public Quarters 1 event is September 12th and 13th. Then we have Edinburgh Manor, September 26th through the 28th. Then we've got the Rock Island Esoteric Expo, October 4th. Then we're back at Quarters 1 again, October 12th and 13th. Then we're What else do we have? We just finished
The Girl
planning.
Scout.
We're doing a Girl Scouts event in October, and then our annual Festival of Trees submission. We've got that all planned out and everything. So we've got that, and we're planning 2026, getting all of those public investigations scheduled at quarters one.
Sweet.
And then once we get those scheduled, we can start sprinkling in the other stuff
That
we want to do.
Quarters one is like our other job.
It really is a job.
One of my favorite places.
Yeah.
How about you, Alfredo?
Well, you can find me on all my socials. Spectre Investigates. It's the same. I just shared my link to my link tree here. It's got all my links to my TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok even. So yeah, I've got some collaborations in the works.
Sweet.
Some big news coming up that I don't want to share just yet. But I look forward to sharing with you guys here soon.
Sweet. So, before I close this out, so for the YMCA Expo in October 4th, the Rock Island Roadhouse Esoteric Expo, Friday, October 3rd, there is a gallery reading with Dr. Rebecca Foster. Friday, October 3rd, you'll have spirit squatches and stories around the campfire with special edition CE5, hosted by Pac-Man Paranormal, Ernie and Denise Pack, along with the Black Wolf Paranormal, Squatchman Greg Yost, Grizzly Chris. October 4th, come see an amazing amount of vendors, presenters, speakers. Annabelle will be there, and Patty Negri will be there. You can also follow Get Haunted on their Facebook page. Get the Rock Island Roadhouse Expo's tickets at Extreme with an X, extremeticketing.com. Where you can find CNR Paranormal is Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. All you need to do is search C, the &sign R Paranormal, and that should get you to us, as well as we have a website, cr-paranormal.com. And it was good talking to you guys. You guys have a good night. And everybody, I'll see you on the next one.
Bye, everyone.
Peace out, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
As always, thank you so much for tuning in on the CNR Paranormal Podcast. You can find this podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. You can also hear this on the Get Haunted main Facebook page, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesdays. Thanks again for tuning in. See you guys on the next one.